Welcome to another edition of Brian's Big Idea. And my idea today is around commodities, and there's a lot of ways to think about commodities. Of course, there's the CRB, the commodity, or the CRB is just the index of 19 leading commodities. And you can look at this index and you can derive the certain raw materials inside of it. We use that as a broad brush stroke for thinking about inflation as well as the prices for commodities increase or decrease. You're going to see that to impact on inflation as well. There's some commodities that have gone up dramatically and some that have gone down. One of the big things was coca. That was a huge move in coca, and I believe the service we're going to talk about in a little bit, run by Jeremy Mullen, did play Hershey's. Jeremy is on top of his game in the trading service that it runs commodities, the commodities innovators. So that's what we're going to end up with. But first, why don't we take a look at a couple stocks that we have up, and then we're going to talk about general commodity pricing. All right, first one is Cheniere Energy, and Cheniere. I'm not French, so I can't be expected to pronounce that properly, but my apologies to the people at that company. It's LNG is the ticker, and LNG stands for liquid natural gas. It's a Zacks rank 3 right now. Estimates have moved around a bit, but this is a big-time company, $41 billion in market cap, and it pays a very healthy $1.74. In percentage terms, it's only a dividend yield of about 1%. So we can see on this chart right here, there was a miss, but no one really cared because, there's a focus on LNG of late, and it's a big one. And look at this move from 155 to 180, straight up gangbusters. And so that's a big thing that's going on there. I wanted to bring up this next stock, and it's Next Decade. Next Decade is the name. NEXT is the ticker. It's a 3 as well. But I like this stock a lot smaller, $2 billion. Now, this is also going to be an LNG style play, but you can see that this stock also missed here, but didn't really care and moved up. Not quite as dramatic of a move, but this thing is going to soar down the road. They have many of the big players already under contract in the space for their Rio Grande facility. And when they come online, they're going to start generating some big time revenue. They're going to have a big time thing. So that's when we talk about LNG. Those are two commodity related names. So I figured I'd show what's been going on with natural gas lately. And we can see that the price of natural gas since the beginning of the month, since July, and we got this nice chart from our friends at FinViz, but the overwhelming trend is lower, but it looks like it is bottomed out here. It looks like there was good volume here, potentially a big volume here, but I think that was options related. An option, or maybe it wasn't July 15th. No, it would have been the options date, right? But so obviously big sell down here, but recovery back the next day. Are we trending back higher? Hard to say. A little downtick today. But the price of this commodity is going to be a very big factor on the LNG stocks. So it's liquefied natural gas. All right, let's take a look at one more stock here, and we're coming off the rails here. It's El Pollo Loco. We're getting crazy with it. Loco is the ticker, LOCO. And I think that means crazy in Spanish. It's a Zacks rank number 2. That's a buy. A for value, B for growth. Much smaller than those guys at $356 million in market cap. So here is your beat at the beginning of May. Stock shoots up and there is no give back, and it's a nice drift higher. So here's the idea of how I'm going to tie this in. We also just did a video on a couple restaurants. Wingstop, chicken prices have gone up over the last couple of years a lot. Restaurants are facing the headwinds of not only higher chicken prices, but higher labor prices. It's a difficult spot to be in, yet this stock continues up. And I think it's because their food's good. I was in California several years ago. I tasted this Pollo Loco, and it was good. I can tell you that. I liked it. That's the insight of one channel check 7 years ago. A little bit stale, as we would say, but certainly withholding all these things. Have they been able to pass through the pricing to the consumer? And that's the key inside of that. Now, if you're into chicken, you might be into soybeans. Okay, and this is a chart that goes back to 23. So soybeans, I guess that's kind of food supply, but we can see chart is moving lower. Now, I just learned some very interesting information about soybeans, and why not? I'm gonna show you some corn too, if I can figure out how to use this thing. Corn prices have been coming down significantly, and they're going to continue to. So the idea here is that I'm just learning this today, just a few minutes ago. Brazil has now got its rail system working. They're going to be able to ship their corn. So they are going to be able to have a lot of corn coming into the market. So corn prices are moving lower. It's likely that next year farmers are going to say like, hey, boy, why would I plant corn when a couple of years ago it was at 600, now it's at 400. That's a steep decline. So they're going to probably look to plant soybeans. So probably soybean prices probably coming in as well. Those were all commodity-driven ideas, and we have a guy that runs Commodity Innovators, and his name is Jeremy Mullen. Now, as I said, he has had that trade on there for Hershey's, and we can see here, it's going to be hard for everyone to see, but he was ahead of the whole thing in chicken. He's got Pilgrim's Pride, PPC is the ticker, and it is a big winner. It's going to report here soon, but it's up 54% for him. There's a few other trades, and I believe this is a twice weekly or weekly service where he gives you a broad brush idea of what's going on in the world of commodities, how best to invest around that. And the idea here is that you have a guy that's dedicated to this space. He's going to find the best ideas in the space, like Pilgrim's Pride, knowing that that's going to be an issue, knowing that chicken prices have moved up. I'm looking at the restaurants end of it. Jeremy's on the actual commodity end of it. So maybe I'll share that great advice with him, or he'll watch this video, think about the prices of corn and soybeans going forward. All right, that's it for this week. Be sure to join me next week when I've got another big idea highlighting a great Zacks service here. And until then, why don't you go to Zacks.com/promo to check out all of our latest promotions.